So you're dreaming of a career in fashion and design. Well, getting into the National Institute of Fashion Technology or NIFT is a pretty huge deal. Over the next few minutes, we are going to turn those official 2026 admission guidelines into your personal roadmap so you know exactly what to do and when to do it. If you see yourself at the very forefront of these industries, yeah, NIFT is one of the absolute best places you can start. So let's make sure you know exactly how to get your foot in the door. Look, we know these official guidelines can be a lot. So what we have done is we have boiled it all down into these simple step-by-step guides. Think of this as your personal navigator for the entire admissions journey. Okay, before you even think about application forms or exam dates, the very first step, and you can't skip this, is to check if you're even eligible. This is square one for anyone hoping to get into their bachelor's programs. The first checkpoint is your age. For any bachelor's program, you have to be under 24 years old on August 1st, 2026. Now, there is a 5-year age relaxation for candidates from the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and persons with disability categories. So keep that in mind. And here is a super important difference that you need to pay attention to. For the Bachelor of Design or BDes, your 10 plus 2 can be from any stream, no problem. But for the Bachelor of Fashion Technology, BF Tech, you must have taken mathematics in your 10 plus 2. Seriously, this is a non-negotiable requirement. So please double check that your background lines up with the program you're aiming for. What if you're in your final year right now and still waiting on your results? Don't sweat it. You can still apply. NIFT actually offers provisional admission. But, and this is a big but, you have to be able to submit your final results by the deadline, which is September 30th, 2026. Next up, the timeline. Think of these dates as the key milestones in your journey. Missing even one of them could completely derail your application. So let's pay close attention. Okay, get your calendars out. Online registration kicks off on December 8th, 2025, and you've got until January 6th, 2026 to get it done. Then the main event, the entrance exam, is set for February 8th. You can expect the results to drop sometime in March or April, and then the whole seat allocation process gets going around May or June. This is it. This is usually the part that everyone gets nervous about. But don't worry, we're going to break down the entire structure of the exam so you know exactly what you're up against and what you need to prepare for. Now, the exam you take is completely different depending on your program. If you're applying for BDes, it's a two-stage process. First, you got the Creative Ability Test or CAT, and then you have the General Ability Test or GAT. If you get shortlisted from that, you move on to stage 2, the hands-on situation test. But for BF Tech, it's a way more straightforward process. It's just a single stage based on your GAT score. For all of you hopefuls, just look at this chart. The Creative Ability Test makes up a massive 50% of your final score, and the GAT is 30% and the situation test is 20%. What does this tell you? It tells you that your creativity, your unique ideas, your observation skills, they are absolutely everything. This is a huge signal to start working on that creative muscle. And here's a really critical piece of info for the GAT. It's a computer-based test, and every single wrong answer is going to cost you. There's a penalty of 0.25 marks for each incorrect response. This means that just wildly guessing is a really risky game. It pays to be smart about which questions you decide to answer. So you have completely aced the exam. Awesome. Now what? Well, let's talk about the price, the seats. Understanding how many there are and how they are divided up is the next big piece of the puzzle. For the 2026 academic year, we're looking at a grand total of 5,076 seats. Now that number covers all programs, both undergraduate and postgraduate, across all of the NIFT campuses in India. So that gives you a pretty good sense of the overall scale of the opportunity. Of course, these seats are allocated based on government reservation policies. So 27% are for OBC candidates, 15% are for SC candidates, 10% for general EWS, and 7.5% for scheduled tribe. So that leaves about 40.5% of the seats in the open category, which are available to everyone. You know, the standard entrance exam is kind of like the main highway to get into NIFT, but it's not the only road. Let's take a quick look at a few other roads that are available for some specific candidates. There are 3 other main pathways. First, there's the NIFT lateral entry admission, or the NLE. This lets eligible diploma holders jump right into the second year. Then you've got the special supernumerary seats that are reserved just for artisans or their children. And finally, you have the foreign nationals and NRIs who can actually apply using their SAT, GMAT, or GRE scores, and they get to bypass the NIFT entrance exam altogether. Okay, so as we wrap up, I want to leave you with something really important, and this is taken directly from the official guidelines. Admit cards, results, and seat allocation schedule will be available on NIFT's website only. No separate communication will be sent by post. This means everything, and I mean everything, is digital. They are not going to mail you anything. So, what's the number one takeaway here? It's simple. You need to make it a habit to regularly check the official NIFT website. It's your single source of truth. Things can change, and it's totally on you to stay informed directly from the source. And there you have it. We have covered eligibility, the key dates, the exam structure, and even the other ways to get in. You literally have a complete map for your NIFT 2026 journey right now. So the only question left is, are you ready to start your NIFT journey?